So, what is health? Well, it's when you're not sick. But then, what is being sick? Well, it's when you're not healthy. But then what is healthy? Well, it's when you're not sick. We have a problem. Hello people of the internet, I'm Jontje and I give complicated answers to simple questions. And today I want to talk about health. What's so complicated about health? Well, health is basically a lot like being normal. It's just a word for what is normal for our bodies, most of the time. So you might want to watch my last video, which is about what is normal. But if you've already watched that, or if you just don't care, let's get started. As I've said before, health is a lot like normal. We use the word health to basically just describe that our body is normal, or not. Although there are other definitions which I'm going to get into later. So, how can we define health in terms of normalcy? Well, there's 3 ways, more or less. There's the statistical definition, which means that it's fine as long as most bodies are like that. Then there's the technical definition, which means it's fine as long as it works. And there's the social definition, which means it's fine as long as society thinks it's fine. And those are also the definitions that I talk about in the normal video, but more in depth. So if you haven't quite understood them, you can check out that video. Okay. And this is also how most medical definitions work, because medicine does not exist independently of culture. And this can be quite straightforward if, say, you've broken a bone or your blood pressure is just way off the charts. But especially when we get into the realm of the social definition, things can become a bit more complicated. And there's in fact many things that we used to think were illnesses or signs of the devil or whatever that we now know are actually just completely normal. Like being gay or being left-handed. We, or at least some of us, have realized that there's multiple ways of being normal, and therefore there's also multiple ways of being healthy. And this is called multicategorial normalcy, which means that there's multiple categories, all of which are normal. This is also where we'll find the concept of neurodivergence. Neurodivergence suggests that some of the things that we previously thought were mental illnesses or disabilities or disorders are actually variations of being normal. This has created some controversy because some people think that the concept of neurodivergency invalidates the fact that they experience difficulties due to their neural differences, or because some people just are very scared of someone who is different to them and that might still be normal. But let's not talk about that for now. This is a slight misconception because it looks over the fact that people can experience difficulties without something having to necessarily be an illness or a disorder. For example, someone might experience some levels of difficulties because they're left-handed. But that doesn't actually make being left-handed an illness. It just means that we as a society aren't very good at accommodating people who are left-handed. And this of course relates back to the fact that health is a social construct, and the fact that it influences the way we talk about and treat people who experience pain or wellness, but it doesn't actually in any way invalidate the fact that people might experience pain. Social constructs do not invalidate experiences. Very important. So, as you might be able to see, our culture actually has quite a lot of impact on how we define health and not health. But in fact, our definition of health can also vary from person to person. So, for example, when I feel like I feel most days and nothing's really out of the ordinary, I define myself as healthy. But my definition of health might not be someone else's definition of health. Because actually, when everything is normal, I will wear at least one bandage and probably be in pain in some part of my body. And also I will not be able to leave the house most days and go to university and meet friends or whatever, because I'm autistic and that's just kind of exhausting. So for someone else, not being able to leave the house on most days and being in pain all the time might be a sign that something is really, really wrong. But for me, it's just normal. It's my version of health, so to speak. Now, you might say, well, clearly you're not healthy and you have some sort of a disability or disorder, or you're just faking for attention and lazy. And exactly that reaction is what I want to talk about next week, because there's another thing going on with the word health, and that is that our concept of health has also become a social ideal. So if you want to find out more, I suggest that you subscribe to my video. Yes, subscribe to my video, please, guys. Or people, however you identify. No, subscribe to my channel so you won't miss the next video, and also like it if I've made you think about something, or if you just like this video. And I'd also be very happy if you could comment, especially if you can think of anything that people used to think was normal but now think is an illness or a disorder or a disability, because I couldn't really think of anything that was. Anyways, I hope that you've liked this video, and I will see you next week. Bye!